by Little General. My name is Tom Bragg, joined here with Chris Kessel. We'll be bringing you the action this morning from Beckley as the top-seeded George Washington Patriots, two-time defending Class AAA state champions, prepare to take on the Jefferson Cougars out of the Eastern Panhandle. And Chris, we almost didn't get this game today. Some legal issues in the Eastern Panhandle almost had this held up. State Supreme Court, I guess, ruled in favor of the West Virginia Secondary Schools Athletic Commission this morning. So here we are, a little bit later than we expected, but it's going to be game on between the Patriots and the Cougars.
It's absolutely gorgeous weather out here today, Tom.
Oh, a wonderful day here in Beckley. And if you've familiar with this tournament, been down here before, you know the weather can sometimes be an issue. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case today. It's not a cloud in the sky. It's warm out. You don't even need to break out the hoodies or the jackets or anything today. No wind really to speak of. So should be just about perfect conditions here for state semifinal soccer in West Virginia.
I 100% agree. Absolutely beautiful facility. You know, the teams are out here getting warmed up, looking great. I'm excited.
It should be an interesting matchup because on the one side you have powerhouse George Washington team, deep with experienced kids that have been down here and won this before. Jefferson, a very good team, but they haven't played in a couple of weeks because of the situation with the COVID map in West Virginia. So interested to see if there's any rust on the Cougars as they try to knock off the defending state champions here.
I know I'd be concerned if I was the coach. And from watching warm-ups, they look like a really athletic and talented group of players. And I know that GW comes in with the pedigree of being returning state champions, and it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, George Washington, of course, led by some very experienced guys, as we mentioned, guys that have been down here, guys that have scored important goals for the Patriots over the years. Led this year, Nick Enott, for 12 goals, 4 assists, has really been a playmaker along the outside in the midfield for them. Max Trethway, another threat to score goals all the time, 8 goals this year, 4 assists. Tarek Giroux, 6 goals, 5 assists. Mason Pinkett, 4 goals, 2 assists. Isaac Carney, 3 goals, 7 assists. This is a GW team that's deep and productive.
Yes, and they want to come out, establish possession, own the ball, and they think that the best defense is a great offense. And I'm expecting them to come out and try to own the ball, recycle it, play it in, play it out, and really try to just keep the ball and not let Jefferson have it.
All right, we will check back in here in just a few minutes as the teams prepare to get ready to take the field. We'll take a small break. This is West Virginia High School Boys Soccer State Tournament on Video Productions presented by Little General.
Wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
As a busy soccer mom on the go myself, I know how much those moments at home are treasured. Sipping a cup of coffee on the deck, watching a sunrise, movie nights with the family, playing in the yard, cozying up next to the fire with a good book. We may not have these moments every day with such busy schedules, but when we do, they should bring us comfort and joy. Call me and let's find the house that can be the canvas for your memories in a place you happily call home.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
An injury at any age can be a game changer, but Marshall Orthopedics, the area's only comprehensive sports medicine practice, is ready to get you off the bench and back in the game. Marshall Orthopedics takes care of the herd. Let us take care of you.
At Pleasant Valley Hospital, we provide excellence in both general and minimally invasive surgery.
Dr. Jonathan Seaton, Pleasant Valley Hospital.
Millions of Americans suffer from sleep disorders, robbing them of energy needed to handle daily tasks. Pulmonary Associates of Charleston is here to help with a state-of-the-art sleep center and a comfortable home-like atmosphere. They treat complex sleep disorders such as OSA, narcolepsy, insomnia, restless leg syndrome, snoring, and many other conditions. If you're suffering from one or more of these symptoms, you may need an assessment by one of our physicians. Call Pulmonary Associates of Charleston. Sleep well, live better.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes, come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Beckley, West Virginia. Tom Bragg, Chris Kessel here for Video Productions, bringing you the Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals. Top-seeded George Washington taking on the Jefferson Cougars. And as we get set to play here in Beckley, Chris, let's talk a little bit about this Jefferson team. Brennan King, really a standout for the Cougars this year.
Oh, yeah. Magnificent goal scorer and assist man. What do you have, 11 goals and 14 assists on the season? This is going to be both of our first times watching him, but in warm-ups, he looks like he's special.
Yeah, midfielder, a senior, Brennan King, 11 goals, 14 assists, as you mentioned. Another senior on the team, Matt Lowe, 10 goals, 2 assists, and a junior, Chase Winbush, 9 goals, 9 assists. So maybe not quite as prolific and deep as this GW team, but Jefferson's got some kids that can play. It's not – I don't foresee a situation where George Washington's just going to roll through Jefferson. Once you get to this point, everybody's good. You're not going to be – it's not a regular season game where you're playing somebody who's maybe not as invested in a soccer program as you are. If you get to this point, you were worthy, and it's going to be a good game, I think. George Washington, I think, obviously is the favorite, but this is, as we mentioned, a very good Jefferson team.
Yeah, absolutely. They went 11-1-2 on the season with their only loss to Greenbrier East, a close loss 4-3, and they were dominant in the Eastern Panhandle. And the Eastern Panhandle's produced some really good teams over the last, 5 to 10 years. So to win all those games against all those teams out there shows that you have something really special this season.
Well, looking back over at George Washington, we went through some of the goal scorers prior to the break, but another player I want to talk about, Chris, senior defender, number 10, Bryce Coleman. One of the best center backs I've seen in many years in high school soccer, and very much a threat on free kicks, penalty kicks, really any sort of dead ball situation. He's their guy, and he's accurate from anywhere inside half field. You don't see that at this level a whole lot.
He can smash the ball.
Yeah, It's not just about, he can get the ball to the net from midfield. He can put it where he wants it from midfield, and that's just something you don't see a whole lot of. So the teams here on the touchline, I believe we're going to have a national anthem here soon. You can see the Jefferson team starting to line up to the left of the midfield line there in their white uniforms with black pants, gold trim on those. George Washington in their home maroons, gray numbers, gray sleeves, maroon pants, maroon socks for the Patriots today. As we mentioned, Chris, this is a game we almost didn't think was going to happen today. Very excited, very happy that we get out here and see these two teams. As you see the coaches here meet and begin to shake hands. Eric Engel, the head coach for George Washington. Patriots two-time defending AAA state champions. Engel walked into a very good situation in George Washington and has just kind of kept the ball rolling there for the Patriots. On the other side of that, you've got Tanner Robinson, first-year head coach for Jefferson. He was an assistant at Martinsburg for a long time, so he knows Eastern Panhandle soccer, and he's really got the Cougars rolling this year, obviously because they're here at Beckley.
Yeah, it's, I don't think that there's probably been a run like what GW's had on the boys' side in soccer.
Not in many years, certainly not since soccer in West Virginia split between classics. You remember when old guys like us were in high school playing soccer, everybody was just in one pot. There was no AAA and then AA. Everybody played each other for one state championship.
Exactly.
It was kind of cool, but this is different, though. You get more kids the opportunity to get down here and play. I think it's a good thing for the sport, good thing for the SSAC. And you've got situations like we have in Charleston where you can have two dominant programs in George Washington, and, of course, on the AAA side, Charleston Catholic been a very successful team for a long time, too.
Yeah, and, having a lot of kids making memories. I mean, I know that, me and you both were high school soccer players in West Virginia and playing sectional and regional championship games, and unfortunately, I never made it to the state championship, because of Nitro.
Well, I got one state tournament game in during my time, and I was a freshman. I didn't play at all. But, yeah, we played, and that was back when the state tournament was in Wheeling. It was before they moved down here, before this beautiful facility in Beckley was built. We played at Wheeling Jesuit in 1998. This is when I was there. So.
Nice. And, I want to talk about this facility for a second. This facility is magnificent.
It's wonderful, especially since they've gotten the turf down on both fields. Because it used to be a thing. You had this nice facility, but you would get down here this time of year, and you had teams playing on it all summer, all fall. And it's a state championship event, and the playing surface was not up to state championship levels. They have remedied that, and it is wonderful.
Yes, it's magnificent. The stands, the field, the turf, just everything about it, the locker rooms. I mean, this is one of the top 3 soccer facilities in the state of West Virginia. I think that Dick Delesk and Memorial for Marshall and WVU are probably the only 2 nice facilities in the state, and you couldn't ask for a better place to hold, the semifinals and finals for West Virginia State, tournament.
As we hear the PA announcer going through some of the rosters here, we will throw it over to them so you can hear who's going to be playing for the Cougars and the Patriots today.
And now for the hunt team this morning from George Washington High School. First, the non-starters and support staff. Number 1, Julian Westfall. Number 2, Michael Wutauer. Number 3, Wes Goodwin. Number 9, McCall Buchanan. Number 13, Connor Strickland. Number 14, Brady Stafford. Number 15, Jack Williams. Number 17, Charlie Atkins. Number 23, Mason Pinkett. Number 24, Luke Dent. And number 25, Danny Shaw. The support staff for George Washington, Brad McGee, David Nelson, Peter Nelson, and Evan Pauley. The head coach for the Patriots is Eric Engel. And now for the starters for the Patriots. Number 0, Grant Fenwick. Number 5, Xavier Bourne. Number 7, Alex Ellis. Number 8, Gabe Segura. Number 10, Bryce Coleman. Number 11, Eric Giroux. Number 12, Wilson Fife. Number 16, Matt Tuckaway. Number 18, Sam Clark. Number 20, Nick Knott. And number 21, Isaac Carney. Your officials for today, your referee is Nicholas Phelps, assistant referee Tim Eller, assistant referee Brandon Jackson, and your fourth official is Kevin Minnick. Now, if we go, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. The flag is at the complex end of the stadium.
All right, that does it for the starting lineups. We will take a quick break here while I get the national anthem in. We'll be right back with more high school boys soccer presented by Little General.
Here at your local Little General store. As I travel this great state, it's nice to know that almost anywhere I go, there's a local Little General nearby. So the next time you're on the road, look for the Little General sign and tell them Hugs sent you.
An injury at any age can be a game changer, but Marshall Orthopedics, the area's only comprehensive sports medicine practice, is ready to get you off the bench and back in the game. Marshall Orthopedics takes care of the herd. Let us take care of you.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes. Come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Millions of Americans suffer from sleep disorders, robbing them of energy needed to handle daily tasks. Pulmonary Associates of Charleston is here to help with a state-of-the-art sleep center and a comfortable home-like atmosphere. They treat complex sleep disorders such as OSA, narcolepsy, insomnia, restless leg syndrome, snoring, and many other conditions. If you're suffering from one or more of these symptoms, you may need an assessment by one of our physicians. Call Pulmonary Associates of Charleston. Sleep well, live better.
Welcome back to Beckley. Class AAA Boys High School State Soccer Tournament in West Virginia about to get going here between the Jefferson Cougars and the George Washington Patriots. Chris, before we get started here, let's quickly review how these teams got here today. George Washington, the top seed in this tournament, undefeated so far, 9-0. Kanawha County got a little bit of a late start, so you're not seeing the numbers just as far as how many games they played. But Patriots 9-0, nobody's beaten them. In the playoffs, they've been very good. 4-1 against St. Albans in the sectional. They win the sectional final 11-1 against rival South Charleston, and then they shut out Oak Hill 5-0 in the regional championship game. Jefferson, a little bit of an unusual path because they did not have a regional game because of everything going on with the state COVID map. Mm-hmm. But Jefferson got through Musselman, Hampshire in their section, win the section. You're here. Not how it goes usually, but you play the games that are on your schedule, and if you just keep winning and hope for the best, and that's what the Cougars have done, and they find themselves in the state semifinals now.
Yep. It's,
the teams here getting pumped up before the game. It's the Jefferson Cougars take the field. George Washington still huddled up to our right from our broadcast location here. We will begin imminently here in Beckley. Class AAA West Virginia Boys High School State Soccer Tournament. And here come the Patriots. So we mentioned Chris, two-time defending Class AAA state champions. I believe 6 times overall, George Washington has won the high school soccer state tournament for boys here in West Virginia. I've heard them say they're going for their 7th star today. They're one of the teams that does the patch thing with stars. So a very proud tradition, a very long tradition of excellence with this George Washington team. But as we mentioned, don't count this Jefferson team out. They've got some guys that can play and could possibly put some pressure on this George Washington team. Other side of that, though, also as we mentioned, it's a Jefferson team that has not played in a while. you look to see if there's any rust there. If you're Jefferson, you hope that's not the case, especially against a team the caliber of George Washington, because one thing that the Patriots do maybe better than anybody is they punish mistakes.
Yeah, it's, and we're going to see right off the bat if that rust is going to take effect. GW is going to start out with the ball, and like I mentioned during the pregame, they're going to try to own possession. They're going to try to keep the ball away from Jefferson, and we're going to see how it works right off the bat.
Tarek Giroux with the initial kickoff for the Patriots. George Washington going from right to left on your screen. Jefferson will be going left to right. The Patriots, maroon jerseys, maroon pants, gray sleeves, gray numbers with the maroon socks. Jefferson, white tops, black shorts with gold trim and black numbers. Patriots pushing forward here. That's number 16, Max Trethewey, with the ball on the far side. He plays it in. Giroux with a left foot attempt. Misses, though. Ball still bouncing around. That's Nick Enott on the far side. Not able to put the ball in. George Washington will bring it back out and try to regroup. That ball eventually out of bounds. It'll be a Jefferson throw in, and that's something Jefferson's going to have to deal with today, Chris. George Washington is going to put the pressure on, and it's just going to be a matter of can the Cougars withstand that pressure and maybe get something going on the counterattack. Tried to get a little something going there, but you see the pedigree of this George Washington midfield and defense. They don't let the ball get far back in their end if they can help it.
No, they're definitely pressing up high up the field, and we're about to see if Jefferson can deal with that, because that's definitely how they're going to try to win the ball back early as soon as there's transition just like that, and now they're back on the attack.
Yes, here comes George Washington with possession in the midfield. That's Wilson Fife with the ball, number 12 on his foot. He passes back into the defense, to Sam Clark. Sam Clark maybe a little bit underappreciated with so many good players around him. We mentioned George Washington's other center back, Bryce Coleman. Sam Clark's pretty good, too.
Sam Clark is a great player and comes from a great family of players. His brother won a state championship with GW previously.
A throw in here on the near sideline. Xavier Bone with the throw in. Back to Clark. Clark to Coleman. They'll play a little touch back and forth. That is Brennan King, the player we spotlighted pregame for Jefferson, number 8. Up high, playing offense. The Patriots content to keep possession right now. It's Clark and Coleman back and forth again. There's a big ball from Coleman. He's looking down the field. That's Trethewey on the far side. The goalkeeper for Jefferson, Nate Whitmoyer, able to get that one. That's Grant Fenwick for goal for George Washington. So, Chris, just a little bit of a boom ball right now. Seems like neither team has really settled down yet. I expect it to happen eventually, but here comes Jefferson. Matt Lowe with the ball, tries to play it in. Ball played back out. It'll be a throw in for the Cougars. Deep in George Washington's half the field. Christian Gottlieb, number 4, lines up to take the throw. Jefferson begins to press up. Gottlieb, short throw. It's for the feet of Aiden Turney. And ball out of bounds, possession to George Washington. So Trethewey with the ball now. He passes up. Wilson Fife, number 12. And here comes Jefferson again. Ball played into the middle. Quick counterattack by George Washington, though. Coleman, poor touch there. Doesn't quite hit it where he goes. Jefferson back with the ball. And here we go. That's King. Ball on his foot. Tries a little right foot, outside of the right foot, trying to play it back into the middle. Can't quite get the touch on it he wants, and George Washington will go the other way. Giroux to Fife. Fife switches fields. And the Patriots might have a little something going here. That ball played in, looking for Giroux. Not quite able to get it there. Jefferson's going to try to go the other way, but pressure from George Washington keeping the ball at this end.
Number 14 for Jefferson, Dylan Brown, the center back, he's done a great job cutting out several of these counterattacks quickly and regaining possession for Jefferson.
As we mentioned pregame, that's going to be a key for the Cougars, because mistakes like that, balls on the back line, George Washington, that's where their bread and butter is. They punish mistakes, and you cannot make them against this team. So far, Jefferson up to the task. Not quite 5 minutes gone by here. 0-0 between George Washington and Jefferson. It's the Class AAA boys high school state semifinals. This broadcast by Video Productions, and of course brought to you by Little General, is Nick Enott on the far sideline. Another George Washington throw in there in front of what looks like a makeshift student section for the Patriots. Not of course, a full complement of fans here in Beckley today, but good to see the George Washington students out and supporting their team. Xavier Bone plays the ball in, takes a long shot, and that one goes wide. Chris, I don't hate that. You can take a shot, why not?
Oh,
why not?
yeah. You definitely test the keeper, especially when you have experienced goal-scoring center forward up there. Any spill from the keeper for a tap-in early in the game like this would definitely change his complexion.
Man, put it on net, hope for the best. You've got other guys up there that can clean that up, as you mentioned. A long goal kick comes out. You got a whistle, and it'll be a free kick for the Cougars. King sets up near midfield, just inside George Washington's half of the field. King will push forward and let the Jefferson defense handle this. Against number 17, Justin DeMoulan. Ball into the net. The ball's bouncing.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous ball. Max Trethway with the ball, trying to turn. Can't quite do it. That'll come off a Jefferson player. Trethway looking for a quick restart, and they'll slow it down now and throw in right in front of the George Washington bench here to our right from our broadcast location. Ball in, looking for the feet of Fife. Say that 10 times fast. Giroux looking for Enott. Enott with one touch.
Oh.
Touch on. Nice touch there from Enott.
Was.
That's Wilson Fife here on the near sideline, deep in Jefferson's territory. Ball comes back. Plenty of room for Trethway. Trethway with the left into the middle. Ball gets played back in again. Lots of pressure here from George Washington. Jefferson able to clear. Trying to get a counterattack going. Can't quite do it. Clark puts it back in. Bone looking for Enott. Wonderful ball.
What a first touch.
Great touch by Enott. Nearly gets the goal there. Wonderful ball. Wonderful first touch by Enott. Not quite able to put it all together on the finish, but George Washington seems like they're kind of starting to get their feet under them here as we have a little more than 7 minutes gone by in the first half of this game.
Definitely. That was, it started with Clark in the back, winning back possession, immediately playing it out wide, playing it in, then playing it back in, with the long switch to Enott running in from the right wing. It was that
ball from Xavier Bone was great.
Yes.
Put it where Enott was the only one that could get a touch to it. As we mentioned, Enott's name coming down the far side with the ball on his foot. He takes a crack with the left. Dangerous clearance by the Jefferson defense, able to get that ball up over the crossbar and out of bounds for the first corner kick of the day. Of course, we'll go to George Washington. It was number 4, Christian Gottlieb, with the clearance with the head there. So Jefferson sets up its defense for this corner kick. Chris, the few George Washington games I have broadcast this year, they have been good on corner kicks. So that ball sent in long over the group of players there. Nobody home. That'll go to the far sideline. Touched out of bounds. Last touch by Jefferson. So George Washington keeping that pressure up. Ball into Tarek Giroux. Ball at his feet. Plays to the middle. He finds Fife. Fife with a shot, and that's off the mark. Looks like it'll be a goal kick for Jefferson. Starting to get our first batch of subs coming in here. I believe that'll be Owen Sarah set to come in the game for Jefferson. We'll see who's coming off for him. Looks like number 11, Chase Winbush. 10 and 11 making the switch.
In the match for the Cougars, number 10, Owen Sarah.
Sarah will just slot in where Winbush was there, midfield on the far side of the field from us here. Nice touch from Jefferson, looking to get a counterattack started. Owen Sarah right in the mix immediately. And ball out of bounds, though, will be a George Washington throw-in. Nick Enot, another wonderful touch there. Not quite able to keep it under control, and ball goes out of bounds. A little hard to judge that far sideline from our vantage point. Thankfully, the linesmen have been on top of things so far. Lots of space here on the near sideline for George Washington. It's Xavier Bone. He plays the ball up to Max Trethway. Trethway from the left side, trying to put the defenders in the spin cycle. Not quite able to do it. He beats one man, can't get past the second, and shot deflected out. It'll be another corner kick. And Chris, we talked about this pressure that George Washington can put on you. Pressure breaks pipes. You hear the old saying, but you wonder how long Jefferson can hold off here, because George Washington has really just been amping up that pressure. The shots, the finishing haven't quite been there, but you don't expect that to be the case for the whole game.
Exactly. GW just ran 4 players into the box, waiting for that cross.
That ball played. Looked like it was going to go sailing over the group of players in the net, but Bryce Coleman comes up from his defensive position, able to get a touch on it, but ball out of bounds for a Jefferson goal kick. There's just so many players on this George Washington team that can step up and make a play. We mentioned Coleman in the pregame coming up from his defensive spot there, nearly getting a touch on the ball, sending it towards goal. Guy Max Trethway, that's a guy we haven't talked a whole lot about. He's had the ball on his foot a lot here on the near sideline. Of course, Nick Enot on the other side in midfield. Just a very talented, very deep George Washington team we're watching here. Tarek Giroux with the ball now, trying to cut back. And the ball will harmlessly roll to Nick Whitmore. Nate Whitmore, excuse me.
Plainly obvious, from the first few minutes of the game is GW's players are just so confident playing with the ball in tight spaces, receiving, turning. It's just it's a joy to see how technically sound every player on the field is.
A little bit of a break from Jefferson here as Mason Reddington had a little bit of something going there for the Cougars. Not quite able to complete that idea, though. Ball out of bounds over the end line, so it'll be a George Washington goal kick. And what we figure will be probably a big boot from Coleman here, show off that leg strength a little bit, and try to get the George Washington attack started from the back here. Looks like he got under that one a little bit, but still well out over half the midfield. Here comes George Washington going the other way. It's Isaac Carney, number 21. Enot with the ball now. Enot looking far side. Wonderful run there.
Great ball in.
Giroux with the ball inside the penalty area. He goes down, no contact though. He just slipped. Enot really trying to pressure. There's Wilson Fife with a shot. Parried away by Nate Whitmore. First real threat, I believe, that George Washington has had. We mentioned that pressure. That's the first time Whitmore's had to put his hands on a ball to keep it out of the goal. And it'll be another corner kick here for the Patriots.
As we can see, George Washington is pushing more and more players into the attacking third on these set pieces, on these corners.
Looked like Max Trethway was going to take the corner for George Washington. They have switched sides, and it'll be Isaac Carney on the other side here.
Okay.
So Trethway back into the box. Carney comes out. They look to play it short for Gabe Sedora. Sedora not quite able to get the shot he wanted there. As the ball comes back out, that's Bryce Coleman with it. He'll just dump it back to Clark, and George Washington will try to reset and start over here. Clark plays it back out to Coleman on the far side. Coleman looking in the middle, maybe for Fife. Not sure he got a clean hit on that. Didn't look like it went where he wanted it to. So Jefferson tries to go the other way here. Coleman leaving his feet, trying to tip that one away. Fife comes back, gets a touch on it. So Grant Fenwick called into action. Come and grab the ball for George Washington. Take his time, a little drop kick there. Looking for Nick Enot. Enot lets it bounce, takes a touch. I think he got a little push in the back there. He stays up, keeps the ball at his foot though. Enot to Ellis. Ellis looking far side here for Xavier Bone, one of the George Washington captains. Ball on his right foot, looks back in the middle. A little bit of a mishit there as Britton King gets the touch going the other way. Both teams looking a little bit sloppy the last few minutes.
Yeah, a little miscommunication by Jefferson there on a potential counter.
Trethaway to Bone. Looking downfield for Giroux. Giroux's got it. Slide tackle in. Nice tackle. Number 24 for Jefferson, John Hall.
He's been playing magnificent today.
He has a tall task on his hand today, trying to shut down this powerful George Washington offense, but nice slide tackle there. And as you mentioned, he's had a good day so far.
It's freshman Michael Lukauer entering the game, one of the top freshmen in Kanawha County.
Lukauer in the game now. And, it's not something you see a whole lot from a team like George Washington that's so deep, so experienced. A freshman getting in a 0-0 game in the state tournament. But, as you mentioned, one of the top freshmen in Kanawha County. Really one of the top young players around the state.
Yes, absolutely.
You look at it, staying in Kanawha County, C.J. Napper from South Charleston, another freshman that had a very good season. But Lukauer here in Beckley at the state tournament with the Patriots and getting his first state tournament action as a high school soccer player. Coleman now has it for George Washington, looking far side there. Sedora with the touch. Ball bounces between teams. Enoch looked like he had it there for a second, but it'll go out of bounds for George Washington. Patriots looking for a quick restart here. There's Sedora trying to throw it deep. Looked like that back foot might have come up. Linesman didn't see it, so it didn't happen. Jefferson get a little something going the other way now, though. King looking long, trying to play the ball in. Clark will be there to clean that up, though. A little bit of a mishit from Clark. Clark and Coleman playing a little 1-2. Those guys are very comfortable with each other, and you can tell. Some defenders, you don't have that level of comfort. You maybe not, as mentioned, comfortable passing back and forth between the back defenders. Not the case for these George Washington back four.
Yeah, they are absolutely owning possession when the ball gets into the back. The pressure that Jefferson's trying to put on them just isn't having any kind of effect.
And here comes King. We mentioned that pressure for Jefferson. That's number 11, Chase Winbush, trying to chase it down. Is he going to get a touch to the ball? He did. Nice save by Fenwick on the near post. Xavier Bone back to make that one a little difficult there, but first real chance for Jefferson, and it was a pretty good one, Chris.
That was a great, quick counterattack. It took 2 touches, and they were, creating a goal-scoring chance.
A corner kick for the Cougars here. Kick coming in from the near side. It'll be Brennan King taking the kick for Jefferson. As the Cougars begin to maybe push a few white jerseys forward here into the penalty area. I count 1, 2, 3, 4 Jefferson players in the penalty area. Lots of defense. The Cougars will make a substitution here. That's number 7, Matt Lowe, coming into the game.
Looks like John Hall is asking to come out of the game currently.
Number 7, Matt Lowe.
Looks like he's got an issue with the knee brace that he's wearing. Seems fine, just the braces. The strap on it is off or something, so he's going to come off for a brief moment to get that straightened out.
Looks like the trainer's coming over to meet him right now.
So here comes the corner kick from Jefferson. King plays it in near post. Jefferson not quite able to get the touch towards goal, but they keep possession. Back out to King. King tries to play it in, and there's Sam Clark flying through the air to deflect that one out of there. Sam Clark, we've talked a lot about him. He's having a pretty good game today.
He's playing magnificent in the back. The
GW. That ball didn't go out of bounds, Chris. I apologize. I thought it went out of bounds here.
And fooled both of us.
Ball stayed in, and it'll be a stoppage in play here. Looks like offsides maybe on Jefferson. GW's trying to get the quick restart. Referee will put a stop to that, though. And we'll line up and do it again. About not quite halfway through the first half here. 21 minutes remain. George Washington 0, Jefferson 0. It's the Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Tournament here in Beckley. Long ball played out from Coleman. That ball will bounce. Nice pressure from George Washington. They've got 2 guys in the same spot, though. Nick Enoch.
Enoch switched from the right to the left side of the attack currently.
Yeah, looks like Enoch and Trethaway have traded positions here. Alec Ellis, number 7, with the touch far side to Gabe Sedora. Sedora Looking for Trethaway. Trethaway trying to stop and let that one roll by him. Works out. He's playing on the right side there. Right foot in. That ball got all the way to the goalkeeper. But Jefferson goalkeeper Nate Whitmoyer able to save that one. Long ball played out into the George Washington defense. Coleman will come back and try to touch it with his head to Fenwick. Didn't get a good touch on it there. A little bit of a dangerous play there from Coleman. It worked out for George Washington, but those are the kind of mistakes that can haunt you at the state tournament. So Patriots are fortunate there. Jefferson didn't quite have as much pressure. Maybe it's the Patriots have been putting on. If that had gone the other way, it seems like there would have been a George Washington player there. But
right.
Xavier Bone plays the ball into the middle.
Oh, the freshman,
Luke
Hauer.
Luke Hauer with the goal. George Washington opens the scoring here.
What a touch.
Freshman
Michael
Lukauer, in his first action in the state tournament for George Washington, opens the scoring here for the Patriots. 19 minutes, 26 seconds remaining in the first half, and George Washington takes a 1-0 lead over Jefferson here in the Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals. And Chris, that was a nice goal by Lukauer. That ball, we talked about the pressure. That was persistence. That ball was bouncing in the penalty area. First touch wasn't quite what they wanted to, but patience from the young player, and he's able to get the touch towards the net, beat the Jefferson goalkeeper, and put the two-time defending state champions in the lead here in the state semifinals.
It looked like he may have purposely flipped it over the defender from his right foot to his left foot and scored.
We mentioned he's a very talented young player. It was a wonderful goal.
Yes, it was.
One that didn't look like it. The build sort of came out of nowhere, but Lukauer there with the finish. George Washington takes the 1-0 lead here just a little more than halfway through the first half. Jefferson got a little something going here again, though, as the Cougars come down the near side.
You know, as you've said repeatedly, George Washington is going to punish every mistake that you make in the back.
Jefferson trying to crack through this George Washington defense here, though, but big clearance by Coleman. Enoch got a chance to run onto it. That ball took an interesting little English bounce off of the turf here in Beckley. Enoch able to get to it. Not quite able to play it where he wanted to, though. George Washington keeping possession, though. Wow, the Patriots are working hard right now. Tariq Giroux.
George Washington was playing 2v6 right there and kept the ball.
Max Trethaway with the ball now for the Patriots. He'll look to come back inside. Alec Ellis, number 7, wide open. Top of the 18-yard box. He takes a long shot. Diving save. Full extension by Nate Whitmore. That ball looked destined for the back of the net. We felt it looked like we were about to be 2-0 here in favor of George Washington. Not the case. Nice save from the Jefferson goalkeeper.
That was absolutely magnificent.
Diving to his right, full extension to make the save on the shot by G-Dub's Alec Ellis. So we'll start to get some subs coming in. Nick Enoch going to come off and get a breather. That's Mason Pinkett coming in. Pinkett, not the most experienced soccer player, but man, that guy's a really good athlete. Also a very good basketball player for the Patriots. High flyer, can play the ball in the air. Just very good addition to this team.
He can go and get it. And it appeared like John Hall came back in for Jefferson, and he had been the rock in the for their defenders the first portion of the game until he had to come off with the knee brace issue.
Yeah, it looks like the knee brace has been straightened out for Hall as we get set for another corner kick here. It's Isaac Carney in the near corner. 21, one of the captains for George Washington with the kick. He'll hit it with his right foot near post. That ball looked maybe touched out by the goalkeeper. George Washington, Gabe Sidora, nice job to stay over that ball and keep it down, not just blast it over the back of the hill here, but deflected out by Jefferson. Not too far, though, as we've got another chance for George Washington. Tariq Giroux lets the ball drop to his feet, then leaves it for Trethaway. Trethaway off target with the shot, though, out of bounds to the left of the goal. It'll be a goal kick for Jefferson.
That was Lukauer with the flick on to create that goal-scoring chance. The young freshman has came in and really put his mark on the game already.
He really has. He's been a difference maker for George Washington so far in that they started finishing. They started getting that last pass in the final third of the field, and it's really starting to come together for George Washington here. I don't expect this Jefferson team to go away, certainly, but if you're George Washington, you got to like how this game's playing out so far. Big header there. Coleman tries to defend. That's number 10 on number 10, Owen Sarah from from Jefferson there on offense, trying to get the ball away from Coleman. Here we go again. Sarah with the ball at his feet. Looks far side. Ball played in for King. King. The ball into the box for Sarah. Sarah not quite able to get through Coleman there. Nice defense from Bryce Coleman to touch it out, but out over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for Cougars. We get some more subs coming on here. Looks like Vinny Bocchetti coming in the game for the Cougars. He will take the spot of Trevor Letterman, number 6. George Washington will make a couple of subs.
Tom, something I've been impressed with, in addition to how, skillful in possession the defenders for George Washington are, they've shown themselves to be magnificent athletes when, defending against the counter to the obviously athletic Jefferson squad.
George Washington trying to make some subs here. Looks like Luke Howard's going to come off. I believe that is Alec Ellis also coming off the field. Subs will be at number 15, Jack Williams, a sophomore. And at number 12, Wilson Fife, a senior, back into the game for the Patriots as we get set for the corner kick. That's Jefferson's King set up to take the kick on the far side of the field here. 15 minutes, 16 seconds remain in the half. Nice ball into the middle of the box. Good job by Fenwick to go up and get that one, though. Goalkeeper called his own number on that one, and nice play by the George Washington goalie to hold that one and not let any rebounds come out. Counterattack will start to go the other way for GW. Trethway with the ball at his foot. He's just going to turn around and play it back to Bone. Bone into the middle there for Williams. Back to Trethway. Trethway looking for the feet of Giroux. That ball gets through, almost through. Nice job to recover there. Maybe someone got a handful of a jersey or an elbow out there. Looks like it'll go the way of the Cougars. Jefferson getting set for a free kick now. Tom Bragg and Chris Kessel here in Beckley for the Boys High School State Soccer Tournament. Class AAA semifinals here. George Washington leads 1-0 on a goal by freshman Michael Lukauer. About 20 minutes into this one. So we sit now 14 minutes from halftime. George Washington gets a break on. That's Mason Pinkett with the ball at his foot on the far side here, trying to cut back inside, smothered up by the defense. Jefferson looking to counterattack. King turned left, then right, then decided to boot it. Couldn't get it through. Ball played back into George Washington's defense. Nobody able to run onto that for Jefferson, though. The Patriots will watch it go out of bounds and take a throw kick. Throw in. Max Trethaway with the ball here on the near sideline. George Washington trying to increase its lead. That ball touched away. Nice defense there from number 4, Aiden Turney. Turney still with the ball, looking in the middle for King. King to Lowe. Lowe looking far side for Sarah there. He's not able to get it. Coleman cuts King down. It's Lowe with the turn, looking for a teammate. George Washington defense turns away that chance for Jefferson. A little 1-2 there between Fife and Trethaway. Max flying down. Fife's flying. Trethaway. Looking. Oh. Wow, that ball did not get all the way back to the penalty area, so the Jefferson goalkeeper couldn't handle it. They had to almost slide tackle the ball to keep that one from Tarek Giroux, putting it in and doubling the George Washington lead. Patriots still on the front foot here, though. It's Mason Pinkett on the far side. He'll cut it inside. Ball comes back out. That is Jack Williams. Williams
another great scoring
got
chance.
The ball to Wilson Fife, and Fife not quite able to finish there. But as you mentioned, Chris, another great scoring chance for George Washington. Jefferson has had their chances, though. This hasn't been a blowout by any means. George Washington certainly has dominated possession, but Jefferson has had, as I mentioned, chances on the counterattack. They've put some pressure on the George Washington defense. Great Fenwick, the keeper, made a couple nice saves for George Washington so far. This one could be tied.
Jefferson is, keeping a lot of players behind the ball and definitely trying to hit on the counter. They're not trying to, possess the ball, in the opposing half of the field. They're trying to play quick when they go forward.
So we see another chance for them to go forward here. I believe that's Lowe with the ball at his foot, trying to cut back inside, smothered by a gang of George Washington defenders. Xavier Bone, nice one-on-one defending once he got it there. And he's just going. This ball played into the middle for Giroux. Giroux touchdown. Isaac Carney. Carney not able to keep possession, though. Jefferson will go the other way. Big first touch there from the Cougars. Gets away from him. Coleman collects and touches out to Pinkett on the far side. Pinkett to Carney. Coleman continuing that run down the far side. He gets another touch to it. And that ball out of bounds and over the fence. And putting the ball boys and the ball girls to work today, Chris. That ball goes over that fence. You've got a little bit of a hike to go get that one.
Yeah.
So more subs.
Looks like
on and off. And Enot.
And Luke Howard back in for Giroux.
Luke Howard back on. I believe that's Giroux. Mason Pinkett off for the Patriots. Mason Reddington and Owen Sarah off for Jefferson. I apologize, I did not catch the numbers of the players going in for the Cougars there. Enot with the ball on the far side for George Washington. Enot back on that far side now after playing near side here. He and Trethewey have switched back. Trethewey runs that one down, touches to Bone. Bone with a little pullback to Trethewey.
Bone has been impressive as a left back.
On the ball.
On the ball, off the ball. Wonderful 1v1 defending.
We got another chance here for Luke Howard. Lots of pressure from the freshman. If you're George Washington, you got to feel like the rich get richer when you have freshmen like Luke Howard come in and able to perform at this level in the state tournament. But here we go for Jefferson. Lowe with a chance. Rushed that one a little bit, though. Got a little bit ahead of himself. Matt Lowe not able to put that ball on net for Jefferson. So we'll get another quick break-in play here as Alec Ellis back on the field. He'll take the place of Jack Williams, the sophomore. Nine minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half here. George Washington leads Jefferson 1-0. Class AAA boys soccer state semifinals in Beckley.
Direct kick for the Patriots.
Be a direct kick for GW here as they get set. You love the little gamesmanship stuff in soccer. One team rolls the ball forward. The other guy, he's not going to kick it back, but he's going to touch it just an inch or two back.
We're just going to make sure it doesn't go any farther forward.
Yeah, just to let them know. You don't get to put the ball exactly where you want to. As we mentioned pregame, anywhere inside midfield is within Coleman's range. This is the first real shot he's had to show that off. I expect this ball to be on net, would be my guess. Or close. He's playing far post. Looking for the head of Enot. Enot goes down hard. We've got a pile of players. Looked like we had some heads clash. Everybody's up and okay, though. That ball touched out of bounds here on the near sideline. The referee's going to stop play and check on Nick Enot.
And the Jefferson player.
Yes, trying to get a number on that. I believe it's number 22, Lloyd Tracy, defender for the Cougars.
Yeah, the referee has to check on every potential head injury.
Sure. You got to be better safe than sorry here. And, you know, at the same time, this hasn't been a chippy game or nothing out of control, but people start going down and holding their heads. You just want to get your arms around that before it becomes anything. So hats off to the center official here for staying on top of that. That ball played in. I think Ellis was looking for Enot again there. Nice play by Coleman to stop that one in its tracks. Get the George Washington counterattack potentially started, but the ball touched back to the Jefferson goalkeeper. Big punt. Sam Clark uses the head. To the near side to Xavier Bone. Bone into the middle to Ellis. Ellis looking long. That ball ends up on the feet of Max Trethewey. Trethewey bringing it in from the right. He's going to take a shot. Low on the ground. Nice save from the Jefferson keeper in traffic.
That was a wonderful piece of technique to keep the ball on the ground, through the defender's legs. I don't know how the goalkeeper saw it, quite frankly.
I was surprised that ball did not end up in the back of the net. Wonderful play by Max Trethewey, but an even better save by Nate Whitmore.
You know, the Jefferson goalkeeper's made two just.
He's been very impressive today.
Yes.
Gabe Sedora with the ball on the far side, passes back to Coleman. Coleman will touch into the middle, looking for Alec Ellis. GW going to switch fields, swing it over here to Clark. Clark with the touch to Bone. Bone playing into the middle, looking for Enot. A little bit of some jostling going along there. The ball far side, not quite able to finish that one. But another chance for the young player here. So we get a replay on that Trethewey shot. Look at it. Keeps the ball low between the defender's legs and the goalkeeper, able to full extension on the ground with the left hand. We've seen him go right and we've seen him go left. Very impressed with this Jefferson goalkeeper here today, Chris.
Yeah, that was a magnificent save. You're not going to see a better save today than that one.
Tarek Giroux back in the game for George Washington now. Alec Ellis gets possession back for the Patriots. Touch to Coleman. Coleman looking long for Trethewey. Trethewey is so fast, has a nice first touch. That ball, the Jefferson team is going to. What we got going on here? We've got some referees stopping the play. We got blood or something. We're gonna have to.
He's bleeding.
Yeah, a little bit of blood on Bryce Coleman there.
I think it's from when he went to the ground to block that.
Yeah. So stoppage in play here, so he can get cleaned up.
Looks like he might be bleeding from his.
Yeah, a little like bloody lip, bloody nose.
Something. Yep.
Who says soccer players aren't tough, man? Just come patch me up, send me back in.
Pack my nose, and I'm going right back out there.
I think because play stopped, he's got to come off, though. That'll be Connor Strickland, Jr., taking Coleman's place. Coleman not even going to go to the bench. He's staying in midfield. He'll be right back in the game at the next stoppage play. Goal kick gets the ball back in play here. Here come the Patriots again. Trethewey, Enot. Enot with the touch with the left. Another touch with the left. Nice defending again. John Hall. We've mentioned his name several times. Having a very good day in defense for Jefferson. And Chris, he came out of the game. GW scores. That's kind of how it's going for Jefferson today.
That's exactly what happened when he came out with the knee brace issue. George Washington scored just a few minutes later, and he's came back in. And since then, he's cut out several very dangerous balls and wonderful 1v1 defending like that right there.
Throw in here, near side for the Patriots. That ball touched out of bounds. Looked maybe by Enot last linesman. He'll give that ball throw into the Patriots. A quick restart from GW. Not able to do anything with it. Jefferson touches it out. Low looking for King in the middle. Not quite able to get there. Alec Ellis with the touchdown to Trethewey. Trethewey left foot looking far side.
Oh, Luke Hauer.
Oh, nice ball there. Oh, looks like Enot fell down. Ball goes to Trethewey, though. He's got some room. He gets clipped in the leg. No call from the official, though.
The referee said nothing to it.
A little sportsmanship there. Jefferson player Chase Brown helps Max Trethewey back up.
Owen Sarah entered the game for Matt Lowe.
Yes.
Jefferson?
Yes. Lowe will come here and grab a quick drink. Another stoppage in play here. Matt Lowe, second on the team in scoring for Jefferson, 10 goals, 2 assists this year. So he's been a vital part of this offensive attack. We mentioned Brennan King, 11 goals, 14 assists. Maybe not quite the facilitator that King has been, but every bit the finisher, it appears. So trailing 1-0. I would not expect Lowe to be out of this game for an extended period of time here for Jefferson. We are closing in on halftime. 3 minutes left in the first half. As we just mentioned, Brennan King, he will line up to take the direct kick near midfield for the Cougars. They try to even this game going into the half. Ball played into the box. Like Tark Giroux got ahead to it for George Washington, but back out of bounds over the end line. So ball will stay on this end of the field for a Jefferson corner kick.
Jefferson's definitely going to have to start, capitalizing on these, dead ball situations.
Absolutely, Chris. They've had some chances, but you got to put one in the back of the net. King again, taking the kick. Ball bending in. I think Nick Enott back in defense for George Washington, getting the touch to it. Coleman comes out, collides with King. No call, though. Play on. King down in a heap. Still on the turf. We're going to get a stoppage in play. The trainers are going to have to go take a look at Brennan King. Ugly-looking collision with Bryce Coleman. So George Washington was trying to get the counterattack started off of that corner kick. If you're Jefferson, this is not what you want to see with your leading goal scorer. Being attended to by trainers just before halftime here in Beckley. So we see the replay here. You see Coleman and King just kind of clash there. Looked like momentum took Coleman into King as he tried to turn around. And
did he land on the ball?
It was hard to tell from this vantage point, but he's up. Looks like be limping a little bit, holding his right leg.
Looks like Matt Lowe's on his way back in.
Yes, glad to see King back up. And if you're Jefferson, you don't want this to be a prolonged thing. You want to try to get him back on the field, assuming he can go. But you want his health, obviously, to be the first priority. But not far behind that is winning this game. And if Jefferson's going to do that, he figures to be a key piece in it.
Absolutely.
King makes his way off the field here. We wait for the restart. 2 minutes on the nose remaining in the first half here. George Washington leading Jefferson 1-0. Goal coming from freshman Michael Lukauer. About the midway point of this first half. We see King here on the near sideline. A little bit of a hitch in his giddy up, but he appears to be okay. Ball back in play now. Like Alec Ellis battling for possession in the middle for George Washington. He loses it, though. Ball played up, looking for Owen Sarah. And Grant Fenwick will just take it. Quick restart with the roll to Xavier Bone. Bone, Tark Giroux. Giroux tried to get a little shoulder fake there and go the other way. Didn't bite, though, so he keeps possession. Tried to look for Gabe Sedora here, not quite able to thread that last pass in. Ellis will switch fields looking for Enott. Enott lets the ball roll by him and takes off, and he's got speed. Enott down the far sideline. Looking to get technical with the ball. Wow, he went around him. Enott plays the ball into the middle. Jefferson goalkeeper Whitmoyer gets a touch to it. Small rebound, able to stay on top of it. Impressive stuff from Nick Enott to not just take that ball down the far sideline with the defender, but to take on the defender, get around him, and be able to play a ball in that nearly squirted through there. And you mentioned the goalkeeper had to make a save, and there was a rebound. So great play by Nick Enott. Trethaway now with the ball for George Washington. He looks in for Sedora. Sedora unable to turn.
I don't think we can overstate how well the George Washington center backs have been cutting out so many of these potential counterattacks by winning the initial ball down the field.
Now they play a high line in the back. You can live by that. You can die by that sometimes, Chris, but when you're confident in your players, you tend to live by it, and that's what George Washington's been doing today. Is ball in here. Coleman, I'm talking about those center backs. Coleman up there trying to get some touches on the ball in the penalty area. And And that'll be it. They're going to call halftime there with the score 1-0. George Washington leading Jefferson 1-0 here in the Class AAA Boys High School State Soccer Tournament. We'll take a quick break. You're watching High School Soccer, brought to you by Video Productions and Little General.
Remember, the concession stand is open. Take food, hot and cold drinks.
Pleasant Valley Hospital, we provide excellence in both general and minimally invasive surgery.
Dr. Ron Grandia, Pleasant Valley Hospital.
As a busy soccer mom on the go myself, I know how much those moments at home are treasured. Sipping a cup of coffee on the deck, watching a sunrise, movie nights with the family, playing in the yard, cozying up next to the fire with a good book. We may not have these moments every day with such busy schedules, but when we do, they should bring us comfort and joy. Call me and let's find the house that can be the canvas for your memories and a place you happily call home.
Welcome back. Halftime here in Beckley. Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals on Video Productions, brought to you by Little General. Tom Bragg and Chris Kessel here on the call with you. George Washington, as we mentioned, leading Jefferson 1-0. On the goal about 20 minutes in by freshman Michael Lukauer. And Chris, you mentioned Lukauer as a impact player when he came into the game. One of the best freshmen, certainly in the Kanawha Valley, perhaps in the state now that we've seen him on this level. What is it about him that you've seen in this half that makes him so good at a young age?
His technical ability, his first touch, and from what I've seen against a very stout Jefferson defense, because they're definitely,
very good today for Jefferson.
He is finding pockets of space to make himself available and, making runs in behind, not only into the center of the field, but out wide, receiving and keeping himself available. And he's an exciting young player. Exciting.
Yeah, I believe the story of the first half so far, George Washington dominating possession. Of course, they got the one goal. But the Jefferson defense, there have been lots of chances for George Washington there. This could very easily be 2, 3, even 4-0 right now. But the defense, particularly goalkeeper Nate Whitmore, number 24 John Hall in the back, they've been standouts so far for Jefferson.
They absolutely have. You can tell that Jefferson is trying to keep players behind the ball, and quickly counterattack. I think that they've came out with this idea. This is the game plan, to keep the game close, and as it goes along, nick off a goal, make it 1-1, hopefully get another one. I think that's the game plan. They don't want an open game. They don't want a bunch of space. They're trying to keep everything compact and tight in the back. And so far, other than the one goal, they've done a really good job of making these chances that GW have had, hard. And the goalkeeper's made 2 just magnificent saves.
Yes, diving full extension right and full extension left on the ground. The second save we saw the replay of during the game. That ball was low, it was hard, it was through traffic. I believe it went through a defender's legs, and the goalkeeper still able to get his hands to it. So Nate Whitmoyer, wonderful first half in goal for Jefferson. On the other side of that, Chris, we mentioned the possession being dominated by George Washington. We mentioned the goal by Luke Howard. What else have you liked from this George Washington team so far? Because it's been, from my standpoint, a pretty complete effort from the Patriots.
The play of the center backs for George Washington have been magnificent. As we talked about, tactically, Jefferson is trying to keep men behind the ball and quickly counterattack. And the two center backs for George Washington have cut out these long balls, cut out a lot of the play that Jefferson is trying to do before it gets dangerous. Now, they have created a couple goal-scoring chances, had some corner kicks, had a great save by GW's keeper going up high to get one dangerous ball in the, off of a corner. But the center backs have just done a magnificent job of taking away dangerous situations and then quickly turning it back into pressure against Jefferson.
Halftime here in Beckley. George Washington leads Jefferson 1-0 in the Class AAA Boys Soccer State Semifinals. We're going to take another little break here. When we come back, we'll get you updated on what's going on the other field here in the Class AA semifinals. You're watching Boys High School Soccer on Video Productions, brought to you by Little General.
Every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
Coach Bob Huggins here at your local Little General store. As I travel this great state, it's nice to know that almost anywhere I go, there's a local Little General nearby. So the next time you're on the road, look for the Little General sign and tell them Hugs sent you.
An injury at any age can be a game changer, but with walk-in clinics Monday through Saturday, the Marshall Sports Medicine Institute is ready to get you off the bench and back in the game. Marshall Sports Medicine Institute takes care of the herd. Let us take care of you.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes. Come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to a beautiful day in Beckley, West Virginia. The West Virginia High School Boys Soccer State Tournament Class AAA semifinals. George Washington leads here over Jefferson 1-0 as the teams begin to trickle back out of the locker room after halftime. As we mentioned before the break, get you updated on the AA games going on across the way. It's Charleston Catholic currently a 3-0 lead, so leads in both of these games for the two Kanawha County representatives. Currently playing, third Kanawha County representative, Herbert Hoover, making its first ever appearance in this tournament, Chris. And we got a little bring that up. Well, that's a wonderful story coming out of the Elk River. You think of all that's happened in that community over the last 5 years or so between, the school being flooded and, not just the school, but people's houses, people's homes, businesses. In a part of the state that has not traditionally been a soccer-rich area, they've really built something down there on the river, and they've got it kind of rolling.
And they're excited out there. I was talking to some of my friends that are from out that way, and they're making the trip down to watch the game. And I mean, we have to remember, a lot of people forget that currently Herbert Hoover still doesn't have a school. They're going to school in portables.
Yes. For several years now. It's not a new thing.
Yeah, it's not a new thing. Yeah. They have a wonderful thing going right now. The program's going. Their middle school program is really going.
As we get set for the second half to begin here, we'll take one more quick break before the action gets going. It's West Virginia Boys High School Soccer, brought to you by Video Productions and Little General.
Here at your local Little General store. As I travel this great state, it's nice to know that almost anywhere I go, there's a local Little General nearby. So the next time you're on the road, look for the Little General sign and tell them Hugs sent you.
An injury at any age can be a game changer, but Marshall Orthopedics, the area's only comprehensive sports medicine practice, is ready to get you off the bench and back in the game. Marshall Orthopedics takes care of the herd. Let us take care of you.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes. Come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Millions of Americans suffer from sleep disorders, robbing them of energy needed to handle daily tasks. Pulmonary Associates of Charleston is here to help with a state-of-the-art sleep center and a comfortable home-like atmosphere. They treat complex sleep disorders such as OSA, narcolepsy, insomnia, restless leg syndrome, snoring, and many other conditions. If you're suffering from one or more of these symptoms, you may need an assessment by one of our physicians. Call Pulmonary Associates of Charleston. Sleep well, live better.
Well, welcome back to Beckley, the Class AAA West Virginia Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals on Video Productions. Brought to you by Little General. Tom Bragg and Chris Kessel in the booth with you this morning. As we get set to start the second half here, George Washington leading Jefferson 1-0. And as we get set here, we just gave you an update on the Charleston Catholic score at halftime. They were leading 3-0 over Philip Barber. Already 4-0 for the Irish, so looking like another trip to the state title game is imminent for Charleston Catholic's boys team. As we get going here, Brennan King back on the field for Jefferson. We saw the Cougars' leading goal scorer go down in the first half. Limped off the field, appears to be no worse for the wear now, though, so good news for the Cougars on that front as we get started here. George Washington will reset you here in their maroon jerseys with gray sleeves, gray numbers, maroon pants, maroon socks on the Patriots. They are going from left to right on your screen. That means, of course, Jefferson going from right to left. The Cougars in white jerseys with black numbers, black shorts with gold trim. King and Enot, really two of the most skilled players on this field, going head-to-head there. King tries to come down this near sideline, played in with his left, not quite able to get the touch on it he wanted, though, and Coleman clears. Cougars keep the ball in here on the near sideline. Lloyd Tracy with the touch, plays it in long. Nobody going forward on the end of that one, though, as Fenwick collects it, and George Washington will reset. Ball played deep into Jefferson's half of the field. It's Tarek Giroux applying the pressure there. Cougars just clear out of bounds. Justin DeMillan. That's out of bounds near side here for a throw-in. Quick restart by the Patriots. Enot with the ball looking to go left. He'll just touch across the top of the box to Alec Ellis. Ellis who puts a shot on, almost on goal. Almost had a shot on goal, but that one just to the goalkeeper's left, missing wide. So it'll be a goal kick to restart here. So we mentioned the goalkeeper, Nate Whitmoyer, excellent first half for the Cougars. But still, Jefferson finds itself down 1-0 here. So George Washington still in the hunt for a third consecutive Class AAA Boys State Soccer Championship. Teams battling for possession in midfield now.
Jefferson looks to have maybe made a tactical adjustment at halftime with one more player in the midfield with only 4 in the back now as opposed to 5 like they had in the first half.
Yeah, a few more white jerseys going forward now as compared to the first half. Got a chance here on the far side. Ball played in. It's number 4, Christian Gottlieb, trying to play the ball in, looking for Brennan King. Couldn't quite find his feet, though, and George Washington's going to try to go the other way. Xavier Bond on the far side with the touch for George Washington. George Washington with a chance now. It's Isaac Carney looking long for Gabe Sedora. Sedora running onto it. He'll have room. Takes a touch. Defense closes in. He's got Enot there if he wants him. Ball cleared out. Almost cleared out. Enot able to get to it. Take a touch back to Coleman. Coleman plays the ball in. Far side looking for Giroux. Giroux.
He's offside.
Offside. The linesman's flag goes up.
Very, very dangerous ball in right there with 3 attacking George Washington players coming in from the left with only 1 defender over there.
Get the restart here from the Cougars. Big boot. Looking for Lowe there. That ball played in.
Oh.
Chance for Jefferson,
Oh.
and they're going to touch it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. George Washington avoiding almost certain disaster there as goalkeeper Grant Fenwick could not get a touch to that ball. Jefferson unable to finish. Chase Winbush with a chance possibly of the day for Jefferson. Cougars have another opportunity on the corner kick here, but wow, that was a wide open net.
Was that Xavier Bone with the defending there to save that obvious goal right there?
I believe that might have been Xavier Bond back there defending that. Now, as the ball comes back out, we've got some fans, benches starting to get into this one. Well, these guys aren't used to starting games at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's halftime. It's gotten through halftime. Everybody's starting to wake up. When you look at a replay here, the ball comes in from the far side. George Washington goalkeeper Grant Fenwick not able to get the touch to it, but Chase Winbush unable to finish with a wide open net. And that was Gabe Sedora on the defense for George Washington on that. So
that definitely saved a goal. That was wonderful recovery.
Get back to the action here. Jefferson looking to press forward again. And Sam Clark appeared to. Sam Clark came up on the ground. Wasn't sure if he slipped or maybe had a little help. Official says he perhaps had a little bit of help, so it will be a free kick going the other way in favor of George Washington. There's lots of space out wide from Max Trethaway. He's been so good with the ball on his foot today. You see that again there. So he looks for. We've got guys down in a heap again now. So we're starting to get a little more aggressive in this game, Chris. Is perhaps the reality of you win or you go home today is begin to set in as George Washington leads 1-0 here.
That was John Hall with the excellent defending again. He's having a wonderful game back there at center back for Jefferson.
A little more than 6 minutes gone here in the second half. It's the long restart from the Cougars. Falls to King, and here's another chance for Jefferson. And as much as George Washington owned the possession and really dominated the chances in the first half, been a different story here in the second half, Chris. Jefferson seems to be knocking on the door right now.
You know, it appears, so far that the adjustments that Jefferson made at halftime have really changed the complexion of the game.
Yes, nice job by first-year coach Tanner Robinson. And I really don't think that can be understated, because when you go up against a team like George Washington, you see the stars on their chest. You see the championship banners and the pedigree and the guys who've had pictures in the paper. And, these guys know each other from travel ball around the state and everything. You go down 1-0 early like they did, it would be easy to roll over and watch that thing snowball on you. Jefferson hasn't done that, and they're right back in this thing now.
They're showing a lot of heart and desire, and it's been an impressive showing here at the beginning of the second half.
Ball touched out of bounds on the far sideline. It'll be a GW throw in. A little break in play here. Ball in. Looks like he's going to have a shot there. Ball touched back dangerously by the Jefferson player. Fortunately for the Cougars, that one misses the goal mouth, but miss hit there nearly cost the Cougars. It'll be a George Washington corner kick. I think it'll come from the near side here. Isaac Carney, a senior captain, lines up to take the kick. He's been George Washington's designated corner kick guy today. He plays the ball in far side. Bond with his foot on the ball to Coleman. Coleman unable to finish there. Alec Ellis tries from far away. Under the ball, though. If it was a field goal, it might have been good, but in soccer, that is just a goal kick now. Teams battling for possession now in midfield. Jefferson gets it, looking long. Looking for Chase Winbush again, who...
He appears to be the player that's moved from a wingback type position in the first half to a true winger in the second half.
The added player in that Jefferson offense we mentioned. Cougars looking to put more pressure on here. 19 Mason Reddington touches off to Brennan King. King trying to take on Gabe Sedora. Nice defense from Sedora to touch that one away. It'll be a throw in for the Cougars. King looking for Turney. Ball kicked out. Giroux trying to get his shoulder to that one. He does. Nice little flick on from Giroux there. Senior defender Dylan Brown touches it out. Quick restart, though, from GW as Nick Enott looking to put the pressure on. He's got a chance here. If he can get to it before that ball gets to the inline, he places it up over the goalkeeper's outstretched hands. Nobody able to get on the end of it, though. Back and forth soccer here, Chris.
It's definitely much more open in the second half.
Tarek Giroux tries a shot from distance. No good, though. George Washington tries to keep this pressure on as Patriots lead 1-0 here. Winbush and Sedora battling for the ball there.
This battle down the left wing appears like it's going to be a very important piece of the attack for Jefferson going forward this half.
Clearance by Sam Clark from the Patriots. Another throw in. Touch in the middle. Possession lost. We're going the other way. It's Nick Enott with the ball in his foot now. Enott is outrun and a run down. That was defender Mason Reddington with the play for Jefferson. Ball finds the feet of Brennan King. King, the Cougars' leading goal scorer this year. Chris, I think it's fair to say, or safe to say, if there was any rust on this Jefferson team from that long layoff before today in the first half, the Cougars shook it off at halftime. They came out, this looks like a different team.
Well, I think me and you both heard how fired up they were in the locker room at halftime, with their locker room being right below our broadcast booth.
Broadcast booth here right on top of the locker room for one of the teams, and Jefferson, they were pumped during halftime. We'll put it that way. Chance here for George Washington. That was Isaac Carney with the shot. Turned away, though. Jefferson was trying to get something going on the counterattack. And Justin DeBelon with the ball now. Tries to touch into the middle. Looking for Lowe. Lowe with the touch back out to Turney. Turney tried to play in for King, but turned away. More pressure from Jefferson, though, as the Cougars keep possession. Ball looking long for Lowe. No offsides flag, but Fenwick out to collect that one.
I think this is the first sustained pressure GW has had to deal with all day today.
I believe you're right. There have been moments here and there where Jefferson has had the chances, but really since the second half started, night and day between the first half as far as the possession numbers go. The Cougars really just staying on the ball so far here in the second 40 minutes. Chance now from George Washington, though. Tarek Giroux turns, looks for Max Trethaway. A little too much on that one. Pass just a little bit too heavy. Trethaway unable to get to that before Nate Whitmoyer, the Jefferson goalkeeper, grabs it.
You know, in addition to, the tactical changes that Jefferson's made, they've also ratcheted up the speed of play. You know, they're not, playing on the ball a lot. They're getting it on their feet and off their feet really quickly.
So Lowe looking for Winbush there. Fenwick there again. I'm going to talk about guys that maybe get overlooked and overshadowed. I mean, just being the goalkeeper for a team like George Washington, whose defense is so good that you maybe don't get tested all that often, but Grant Fenwick's a pretty good goalkeeper. We've seen it several times today already. A few George Washington games I called this year also performed well.
I mean, the George Washington defense has only given up 3 goals in the 9 games this season.
Patriots lead 1-0 here. It will take at least 2 today for Jefferson to get through to tomorrow's state championship game. So, tall task here for the Cougars. Chase Winbush comes off for the Cougars. Michael Lukauer, the goal scorer, fantastic freshman for the Patriots, back in the game. See him on the far side of the field. Now it's Max Trethaway with the ball on his foot. He'll try to cut it back in. Lukauer now passes off to Isaac Carney. Carney unable to put the ball where he wanted it to. GW maintains possession. Mason Pinkett will have it, and the ball is touched out of bounds for a corner kick. Set pieces have been kind to George Washington this season. Not so much today, but there have been chances. So we get lined up here. That won't be Carney taking that one. It'll be Alec Ellis. Ellis with the right foot in, plays the ball in, looking for, couldn't quite see the George Washington player there. Another wonderful save. That ball just kind of looped in. Whitmoyer going to his left, able to get a handle on the ball and keep that one out.
Whitmoyer is putting on a show today.
Fantastic goalkeeper. He's just really impressive today. Trethaway now has the ball and a little bit of a break on for George Washington. No play it in the middle. It's deflected. Pinkett
showing off his athleticism right there.
Yes, absolutely. Ball touched back in. Isaac Carney will back out. Wilson Fife. Fife to Ellis. Ellis touches around to Coleman. Coleman faked like he might line up to just blast that one, and soft touch into the corner to Sedora. Sedora shakes off the defender down along the touchline. More defense coming in. That ball tipped out. It'll be another corner kick. So we go to replay here on that last opportunity for George Washington. That ball comes out. Tipped in and diving save. That one nearly got by him too, Chris. Another wonderful save from the Jefferson goalkeeper.
You know, he has been all over everything.
Ball in now. Looking for the head of Mason Pinkett. We mentioned he is good in the air. That ball out to Carney, who puts it over the top of the goal for a goal kick as Jefferson turns away another chance for George Washington here.
George Washington looks to have maybe weathered the storm a little bit here at the beginning of the second half. They've slowed the game down. They've possessed it a little bit in the attacking half and created a couple great scoring chances the last few times they've had the ball.
GW leading 1-0 here over Jefferson, nearly halfway through the second half. 22 minutes remain in this game. Teams playing for a spot in tomorrow's Class AAA state title game.
Oh, what a turn from Luke Howard.
Luke Howard plays it into Pinkett. Pinkett with a chance. Looked like he didn't get the first touch he wanted there. Is Jefferson able to turn that one away and get going the opposite direction? But what a touch from Michael Lukauer there.
And Pinkett wasn't complaining about the no call there, so I don't think there was anything to that.
No, I think he got too far over the ball. It looked like you're moving, ball ends up under your feet. You can't quite do what you want with it. Jefferson looking to apply some pressure of its own here. Low playing the ball into the middle for Sarah. Sarah unable to get turned around before Clark clears that one out. Ball bouncing around, not quite the clearance Clark wanted. Jefferson maintains possession. Now possession back to George Washington, and the ball cleared out by Xavier Bond. Low now on the far side. He takes a touch and gives it up. I believe that's teammate Christian Gottlieb trying to make the move. Now ball swung far side to King. King with a quick touch to get around Sadora. He's going to take a shot right at Fenwick, though. King, the leading goal scorer for Jefferson coming into this game. That was probably his best chance of the day, Chris, but shot right at the goalkeeper.
Great piece of 1v1 to beat the defender, and got a great shot on net.
Now, George Washington trying to come the other way. This attacking duo of Lukauer and Pinkett has found some space to work here, just not quite able to finish the last few times down the field. So will be another throw in for George Washington. Sadora looking for Pinkett. Can't quite find his feet or his head, though. Lukauer maintains possession. Back to Sadora. Sadora is going to go with the right. He finds Isaac Carney. That ball cleared out, but off of a George Washington player as the lineman signals for a throw in for Jefferson. As we'll get some more subs here. Looks like Nick Enott, Gabe Sadora gonna. Chase Brown and Chase Winbush in the game for Jefferson. I thought Nick Enott was coming in the game for George Washington, but it appears maybe not this time. King trying to really dance between these defenders with the ball in his foot. Not quite able to do it. Lukauer with the quick turn. Can he keep it in bounds? Not quite able to, though. You saw the idea there, though. Very impressed with the skill of this young player for George Washington. King with a little turn of his own. Not quite able to get it all the way through, though. Alec Ellis now with the ball for George Washington. He looks for Lukauer. Lukauer turns. Tries to play to Pinkett. Pinkett misses the first touch. Able to get it back. Now he's going to battle for possession down in the corner. Pinkett back with the ball in his foot. Trying to go around Justin DeMilan. Not able to do it, though. Touched out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. Now we get the subs in. Here comes Nick Enott. Enott taking Wilson Fife's spot. Probably needs some shifting around among some of these George Washington players. Sadora back for Carney. Carney tries to touch with his head. Ball ends up all the way back to Bryce Coleman. Back into the middle. Carney trying to win it there. He lets it bounce. Carney and Winbush battling for the ball now. Touch back to Sedora, to Enot, back to Sedora. George Washington looks in the middle for Lukauer. Alec Ellis, and they're going to switch the fields. Bond with the ball. Back into the middle to Ellis. Ball switched up. Enot with a chance now. Left foot, plays the ball in, looking for the head of Pinkett. Defense there. GW back to doing what they did in the first half and really just setting up camp in that final third of the Jefferson side of the field.
Yeah, they've definitely weathered the storm like we mentioned earlier, and slowed the tempo down. Just possessing the ball, and just like they did in the majority of the first half, their center backs are cutting out these attempted long balls and just immediately putting Jefferson's defenders back under pressure.
Tariq Giroux back in the game for George Washington. Corner kick played almost directly to him, so he brings the ball down. It'll be a battle for possession. Carney, one of the captains for G-Dub, trying to get in there in the midfield. I'll tell you, Chris, Carney has impressed me today. Maybe not on the ball as much as some of his teammates, but his positioning has been great. He seems to always be where he needs to be on the field. And I believe it was him that got the touch to the ball on the last great save made by the Jefferson goalkeeper on the corner kick attempt a few minutes ago.
Absolutely. Jefferson's been impressive. They've came out with a game plan today and, have executed it almost to perfection.
16 minutes, 38 seconds remain here in the second half. And George Washington leads Jefferson 1-0 in the Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals, first semifinal of the day. This ball played back into George Washington's half, touched back to Fenwick. Fenwick will send it out wide to Xavier Bond. Ellis switches up. He gets to Enot. Enot points to Sedora, sends him down on a run down the far side, just a little too heavy on the pass, though. There's Carney again trying to play the ball. Lukauer tries to bring that one down. Maybe let it bounce one too many times as Jefferson defender John Hall, who's been a dynamo for the Cougars in the back today, able to get that one and get the ball going the other way. Now here comes Jefferson, ball in midfield. Low looks long for King. King now with a little bit of space in front of him. He's going to try to play for Winbush. Coleman there to cut that out. George Washington's going the other way. Mason Pinkett with the ball now gets brought down from behind. Maybe not quite behind, but from the side. Nothing dirty, just two guys going shoulder to shoulder trying to get that one, though, but nonetheless, it will likely be a kick for George Washington here, as it looks like Winbush from Jefferson appears to be down for the Cougars. Winbush had maybe Jefferson's best opportunity of the game today so far. Open net right in front of him, but Gabe Sedora, George Washington defender, able to come back and get a touch to it before he was able to find the net and even the score here. We get going again. It will be a free kick in favor of George Washington, right almost exactly on the kickoff spot in the middle of the field. As we've mentioned, Coleman has the range to get it there from this distance. We'll see his approach. It's got a little backspin on it. Not a terrible idea there. That was a little wide of net, but from that distance, you play the ball in. Maybe you get a rebound, maybe you get a ricochet, maybe...
Especially with a player like Mason Pinkett up there that could get his head on just about anything.
Some more subs for George Washington here. So we'll see Alec Ellis. Lukauer come off, Max Trethaway. I believe it was Wilson Fife also in the game now for the Patriots. Excellent flick on there from Enot. Finds Pinkett. Pinkett tries to go back for Enot. Sliding tackle takes Enot out. Got the ball first, though. No call. Ball comes back in, switches sides. That's Sedora for George Washington on the near side. Patriots will reset. Ball comes back out to Coleman. Coleman takes a touch, goes to his right. Plays the ball across the middle again. George Washington looking for Mason Pinkett in the middle. They have set him up as sort of a talisman. They're trying to get the ball to him for that final shot. Brandon King trying to play the ball long. He's looking for his teammate Lowe. King and Lowe, the two leading scorers for the Cougars this year. Unable to find the net today, though. Jefferson down 1-0 here. Class AAA boys high school soccer state semifinals in Beckley. 13.5 minutes to go. Possession in the midfield, and we get a whistle there. That's, of course, the first of our semifinal games here today on Video Productions for Class AAA. We have all the games, AAA also going on across the way from us here. Last we heard Charleston Catholic leads Philip Barber 4-0 in that game. Score is now 7-0, I'm being told. So Irish well on their way to another boys soccer state championship game appearance. GW leads Jefferson 1-0 in this game, and we'll get University and Cabell Midland in our other boys AAA state semifinal game here this afternoon. George Washington setting up for a direct kick in the Jefferson half of the field here along the far sideline. We'll call it about 10, maybe 15 yards in from the center stripe. As we mentioned, certainly within Coleman's range here. Off to the goalkeeper's right. Here, this one will be swinging in. To go near post on that. Ill-advised touch by Jefferson. Ball didn't go the direction they wanted it to on that header, but able to avoid that. And Coleman comes in hard. And we're going to have a problem here. These guys are going to need to get separated. So we got some extracurriculars going on here. I believe that was Chase Brown from Jefferson and Coleman, who initially had the problems. Mason Pinkett's very upset right now, having to be pulled away by his teammates.
Looks like we might be getting a card.
Perhaps. Yes, yellow card for Bryce Coleman. He's going to come off. And it was a bit of a reckless challenge, Chris. He went in.
Absolutely. You could see him running from 20, 30 yards away.
Yes, it wasn't. No objections from the George Washington bench either. Tells you just about all you need to know. And somebody gets a card and nobody's upset on the sideline, then he probably deserved it.
Yeah, I think that one was pretty obvious.
Jefferson hoping to capture some momentum here. Cougars trail George Washington 1-0. 11 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the second half when we get restarted here. A relatively clean game so far until the incident just a few minutes ago. George Washington defender Bryce Coleman issued a yellow card for his challenge on Jefferson's Chase Brown. Xavier Bond with the ball on the far side now. He'll look for Tarek Giroux. Giroux gets the ball to his right foot to get the shot off, but not able to get much on that as it bounces to the Jefferson goalkeeper. Looked like maybe a little bit of confusion in the back for the first time today from George Washington with Coleman on the sideline currently. That's number 13, Connor Strickland, back in Coleman's place. Nick Enot.
Oh, nice piece of skill to keep the ball.
It was a nice piece of skill to stay upright. Lukauer now goes down in the box, no call. I believe they got that one right, though. It looked like all ball to me, and the player came afterwards. So.
Absolutely. John Hall has been a rock in the back for Jefferson today.
Tarek Giroux trying to play the ball in, but another nice save there by the Jefferson goalkeeper, Nate Whitmoyer. Hall there adjusting the knee brace. That's the word I was looking for, the knee brace. Possession in midfield there. Won by George Washington. It's Vinny Bacchetti and Max Trethaway that were playing for it. Now ball played in for Lukauer. Hall's still got that flapping, I guess, on his knee brace. Not sure if he's going to have to come off to get that situated. He came off earlier to get that dealt with, and that's when George Washington scored. So I'm sure the Cougars and Hall hesitant to come off the field right now. We're going to get a stoppage in play. The referee sees what's going on with the knee brace. They're going to send him off to get that taken care of. Bryce Coleman will be back in the game now for George Washington. Coleman with a yellow card already today. 9 minutes, 42 seconds remain here in the second half. George Washington leads Jefferson 1-0. Teams playing for a spot in tomorrow's Class AAA state championship game. Tom Bragg and Chris Kessel on the call with you here today for Class AAA soccer from Beckley this morning. Chris, we talked a little bit about it in the pregame, but perfect conditions for soccer today. You could not ask for a better day.
No, you couldn't. The beautiful sky, no wind. It's not 20 degrees and sleeting like some previous years.
Or snowing. We've had snow down here before. I believe it was 2013, 2014. The tournament ended up being moved to Charleston. Simply because the snow down here was just too much to handle. That was also pre-turf here, though. That's a lot has changed. I believe that was one of the catalysts for the turf coming in down here. As we mentioned, a wonderful facility here, the Paul Klein Beckley YMCA soccer setup.
It looks like the earlier injured Chase Winbush is coming back in the game for Jefferson.
Winbush minus his knee brace. No, excuse me, John Hall has his knee brace getting looked at right now. Winbush back in the game, though, with some tape on his knee. The tape on the knee threw me off, Chris. We've got more guys coming in and out. So that will be number 21, Tommy Gallo. Folks, I apologize if some of these pronunciations are just a little bit off. We do not have a pronunciation guide for these. We have rosters with numbers, which isn't always the case, but we do not have a pronunciation guide. Nicky Knott plays the ball through the middle, cleared out by the Jefferson defense, and it's Tommy Gallo. Coleman steps through the ball and King there, and you get a stoppage in play. I didn't see much there, but considering what has already transpired today with Coleman, referee probably wise to put a stop to that one. Just everybody calm down.
Definitely needs to, be very careful with how he goes into those challenges where he already has a yellow.
Yes, not a player George Washington will want to lose if they are able to hang on and go to tomorrow's state championship game. Of course, the Patriots, just a 1-0 lead here, so one goal changes the feel of this game significantly if it comes from either team right now. If Jefferson gets the goal, game on, because these have been very even teams throughout the second half, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Jefferson coach needs a lot of credit for the changes that he made at halftime,
Yes.
Technically and changing the pace of play of the game.
Lukauer here with the ball near side, plays it back to Enot. Ball eventually out of bounds. That was off Isaac Carney from George Washington, so it'll be a Jefferson throw-in. Cougars quick to restart. Trethaway steps up. And now Trethaway's down, grabbing at
his groin,
right leg, maybe a hamstring. He's back up, though. False alarm. Clark back to touch that outside for Bond.
With a nutmeg.
Bond with a nice piece of skill. As Isaac Carney goes brought down from behind. Looked like maybe
referee says nothing to it.
Nothing to it. Tells him to get up. But this is a good referee, Chris. You mentioned Kofi, one of the best referees in the state.
Yes, absolutely. You know, he's
well regarded, well respected. He calls a good game.
He's done a wonderful job today. I haven't seen any complaints from either team.
No. Which is rare at this level.
It'll maybe be the first time I've ever seen it.
Charleston Catholic update. They are now leading 8-1 over Philip Barber on our other field here in Beckley. So that game also winding down. Irish look set for a Class AA boys soccer state championship game appearance. Excuse me, girls. As we wind down here in the Class AAA half of things going on right now. George Washington leading 1-0. Looking to add to that lead here. This midfielder Alec Ellis goes over the ball for the corner. The goal scorer Michael Lukauer comes off for George Washington. Ball swung in. Enot tries to get ahead to it, unable to. Ball bouncing around, headed several times and knocked out. Bond with the ball on the far side, able to keep his feet, no call. Now there's a whistle. It'll be a George Washington free kick just outside. Call it about 10 yards outside the penalty area, a little bit offset to the left.
It's a very dangerous place to have a free kick from right here.
Yes, Trethaway also good at the dead ball kicks here. Maybe not quite the range that Coleman has, but this is sort of the sweet spot for both of them. Coleman tries to keep that one low. Looked like it deflected, but able to saved relatively easily there by Nate Whitmoyer. So he will take his time and wait for the team to get down the field and set up a little bit. Big punt, though, looking for number 11, Chase Winbush. Winbush still battling for possession. Trethaway able to get it away from him, and off we go. Long ball played, looking for the feet of Tariq Giroux. Jefferson defense able to get there first, however. Four minutes, 27 seconds remain. Time running out for Jefferson here in the Class AAA Boys State semifinals. George Washington tries to switch fields. Winbush looking to get a touch of that, unable to. Instead, it'll be Gabe Sedora playing the ball up for Nick Enot. Enot, fantastic midfielder for the Patriots. Really good skill on the ball, able to play it back inside. That's Isaac Carney. Carney touches wide. And back to Carney. It was Ellis before Carney. Well, Bond plays the ball in, looking for Giroux. Oh, excuse me, that was Enot in there also that got his head on the ball. He was shaded by a defender from my vantage point, but saw that red hair pop up over the defender. Nearly got to it. Now he's feeling it now. He went down hard there. Enot's going to come off. Looks like Mason Pinkett will take Enot's spot.
I mean, George Washington, to be able to bring players like Lukauer and Pinkin off the bench, you know, it just shows the depth that they have at these attacking positions.
Absolutely. Guys that would start, maybe not every other team in the state, but a good bit of them would have those guys in the first 11. As you mentioned, just a almost embarrassment of riches in the roster department for the Patriots. They try to add to this 1-0 lead here late. That ball played by Trethaway. Again, looking for Pinkett and Giroux. Nice defending there to close that one out, though. Before really anything can get started, Jefferson with a chance now as that ball just goes over the touchline on the far side. It'll be a throw in for George Washington. Time certainly becoming a factor now, Chris. We're under 3 minutes to play here in the game. The Patriots do lead 1-0.
Jefferson's definitely going to have to start putting more pressure, pressing up even higher. I know that they have 3 in the back right now, but they may even have to add another person in the midfielder in the attack.
Yes, it's becoming do or die time. Of course, you don't want to push too many people up and then open up the field for George Washington to come down and increase their lead, but at the same time, you got 3 minutes left in your season if you don't score here, so you need to score if you're Jefferson.
Yeah.
However you manage to do it. George Washington content to just play boom ball right now and watch those seconds tick off the clock. If this holds, it would only be Jefferson's second loss of the season, so tough pill to swallow for the Cougars here if they can't get back into this one.
You can tell the experience that George Washington has with all these juniors and seniors on the field with the walking to take throw-ins, the pace of play here at the end.
Yes, for the George Washington seniors, of course, if this result holds, what would be their third consecutive trip to the AAA state championship game, looking to win their third in a row here. And for the George Washington juniors, they only know winning state championships. So this is an experienced group that we've talked about almost at length here during this broadcast. Minute 17 left. Jefferson making its last efforts here. Looks like we're going to have at least one more chance here from the Cougars. Snuffed out, though, by Isaac Carney. Again, George Washington content to just play boom balls. Let that ball rattle around. Last chance perhaps here for Jefferson. Turned away by Gabe Sedora.
The Jefferson coaches are imploring players to get forward right now.
Time running out. Under a minute left. 48 seconds and counting. So we'll get a corner kick. See if they give themselves time to get this set up. King rushes it. Ball in. Headed up. And Grant Fenwick, the George Washington goalkeeper, holds it. With 30 seconds left. It sure looks like George Washington's going to hold on to this one. It's a big boot from Fenwick. Sends it deep into the Jefferson half of the field. That's Tart Giroux and Mason Pinkett trying to run on. Fortunate bounce there for Jefferson. Down to 15 seconds left. Pinkett going to try to add to this right at the death here. Content to just run it out. You hear the countdown clock.
Very smart
coming
play
down.
by Pinkett. Very smart play.
And that's the final whistle. George Washington with a 1-0 win against the Jefferson Cougars here in the Class AAA Boys High School Soccer State Semifinals in Beckley. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back and go over what we saw here today. It's West Virginia High School Soccer on Video Productions, brought to you by Little General.
At Pleasant Valley Hospital, we provide excellence in both general and minimally invasive surgery.
Dr. Ron Grandia, Pleasant Valley Hospital.
Millions of Americans suffer from sleep disorders, robbing them of energy needed to handle daily tasks. Pulmonary Associates of Charleston is here to help with a state-of-the-art sleep center and a comfortable home-like atmosphere. They treat complex sleep disorders such as OSA, narcolepsy, insomnia, restless leg syndrome, snoring, and many other conditions. If you're suffering from one or more of these symptoms, you may need an assessment by one of our physicians. Call Pulmonary Associates of Charleston. Sleep well, live better.
As a busy soccer mom on the go myself, I know how much those moments at home are treasured. Sipping a cup of coffee on the deck, watching a sunrise, movie nights with the family, playing in the yard, cozying up next to the fire with a good book. We may not have these moments every day with such busy schedules, but when we do, they should bring us comfort and joy. Call me and let's find the house that can be the canvas for your memories and a place you happily call home.
Coach Bob Huggins here at your local Little General store. As I travel this great state, it's nice to know that almost anywhere I go, there's a local Little General nearby. So the next time you're on the road, look for the Little General sign and tell them Hugs sent you.
An injury at any age can be a game changer, but Marshall Orthopedics, the area's only comprehensive sports medicine practice, is ready to get you off the bench and back in the game. Marshall Orthopedics takes care of the herd. Let us take care of you.
Hey man, I really appreciate that Patrick price on my insurance, Jake from State Farm. Being a champ has its perks.
Here's the deal, Patrick. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Let me repay the favor with some field passes, come on.
No favors, just great rates.
Okay, fine. I'll let you wear the ring, but only for a day.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Beckley. Final score here in the first of our two Class AAA boys soccer state semifinals today. The George Washington Patriots defeat the Jefferson Cougars 1-0. George Washington back into the state championship game looking for a third consecutive Class AAA boys soccer state title. Tom Bragg and Chris Kessel here with you on the call for video productions, of course brought to you today by our friends at Little General. And Chris, let's talk a little bit more about the goal scorer for George Washington. Michael Lukauer, a player you're very familiar with. Same age as your daughter. You watched this kid grow up and play when he was a guy you told me before the game, hey, if he gets in, keep an eye on him. He gets in the game, scores the only goal for George Washington. Patriots going on to the state title game.
Yeah, I mean, for George Washington, such a junior and senior laden team, to have a freshman come off the bench, and then score an amazing goal, it just shows the depth and quality of players that they have. And, a freshman leading the way like that is just an amazing testament to the kind of program they have on the Hill.
Of course, that goal coming about 20 minutes into the first half. George Washington got the early lead, able to hang on to it here. Could have added to it several times, though, and we'll show you some of that action in our Jostens play of the game coming up here shortly as the Jefferson goalkeeper, Nate Whitmore, put on a show today. This, as good as Jefferson was today, tactically sound, they had a good game plan. If not for his play back there, this would have been a 3-0 game, a 4-0 game, perhaps.
Easily. He made two just magnificent saves today that saved, just definite goals. And, their center back, number 24, John Hall, he cut out so many attacks and played wonderfully back there. And like you mentioned, Tom, Jefferson came out with a game plan today. The first half, their goal was to keep the game close, to keep a lot of players behind the ball, try to counterattack. At halftime, it was only 1-0. They came out, changed it up, changed their formation, added another play under the attack, quickened the tempo of play, and really created a lot of goal-scoring chances, kept the ball, in the attacking half of the field, and made this a really exciting game down the stretch.
So we have a moment here now. We'll take a look at that Jostens play of the game. Jefferson goalkeeper Nate Whitmoyer. Keep an eye on the goalkeeper here. That ball played long into the penalty area. George Washington taking a chance. That's Max Tretheway. Takes a touch. Watch the shot go between the defender's legs, but the goalkeeper still able to dive and get his hand to it. Nate Whitmoyer with our Jostens play of the game here. As George Washington defeats Jefferson 1-0 here in the Class AAA Boys State Soccer Semifinal. Our first of 2 games here today, Chris. So we will be back in just a little while with our other semifinal, Cabell Midland taking on University High, a little Huntington area versus Morgantown area. That is always fun. And again, that game will be coming up here shortly after the stadium clears. Teams get warmed up for this one. One last time, my name is Tom Bragg, joined here by Chris Kessel. Final score, George Washington 1, Jefferson 0. Class AAA Boys Soccer State Semifinals on Video Productions, brought to you by Little General. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in, and be sure to check back when we get going with more games later today.